Hello and welcome to the Al-Monitor Brief. It's Friday, September 13th. I'm Kristen Tolman. Today's segment is a conversation with Adam Lucente, Al-Monitor's news and business correspondent, on the Iranian President Pezeshkian's visit, his first foreign visit since being inaugurated, to Iraq. But first, let's get you caught up on the headlines. Ministers from Muslim and European countries, along with the European Union's foreign affairs chief, gathered Friday in Madrid to discuss how to advance a two-state solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Tunisians are set to protest in Tunis on Friday over what many see as a deeply unjust electoral process in which candidates have been arrested and barred from running. The protest comes just a day before campaigning for the election kicks off on September 14th. The families of Palestinians killed in an airstrike in the occupied West Bank city of Tubas held funerals on Friday after Israeli forces withdrew following their latest raid in the territory. Violence in the Palestinian territory had already soared alongside the nearly 12-month-old war in Gaza. But in late August, Israel began large-scale raids that residents say marked an escalation. And Iran's foreign ministry summoned the British, Dutch, French, and German envoys Thursday in response to accusations that Tehran provided short-range ballistic missiles to Russia. Now, on to the main segment. Hey, Adam, welcome back to the Al-Monitor Brief.
Hey, thank you for having me.
So you just wrote a recap on Iran's new president Pezeshkian's trip to Iraq, his first trip abroad since being inaugurated, and it was marked by the news right as they started. The U.S. State Department, Blinken, announced that they believe that Iran has delivered missiles to Russia in Moscow's war efforts against Ukraine. So it started out where, from a Western standpoint, there's already a lot of sort of focus on Iran and pressure right as he was starting his trip. So I wonder, tell us a little bit about the trip, some of what happened, where he went.
Yeah, so first, like you said, the timing is interesting. I mean, during his inauguration, of course, Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh was assassinated. And then, there was the accusation from the U.S. about the missiles to Russia. So it just shows Iran's involvement in so many international issues. And it's testing his ability to engage with the West.
Yeah, and Tehran has categorically denied the claim, but you have sort of Washington and then European capitals pretty firmly arguing that they have. So where exactly did Pezeshkian go in Iraq? Who did he meet with? And what was signed, or was there anything signed?
Yeah. So he started off in Baghdad on Wednesday. He met Prime Minister Sudani. They signed a bunch of memorandums of understanding on the economy, trade, culture, agriculture, telecommunications, I believe around 14 in total. So that kind of just shows, the type of cooperation they're looking to deepen on. Then on Thursday, he went to Erbil, the capital of the Kurdistan region, and he met Kurdistan region President Barzani, as well as Kurdistan Regional Government Prime Minister Masoud Barzani. And Barzani said to Pezeshkian that the Kurdistan region is not a threat to Iran. And he made similar comments during his own May visit to Tehran. And that relates to, Iran's concerns about the border security with Iraq. And there were a lot of videos going around on Thursday showing Pezeshkian speaking in Kurdish to local media. Yeah, and his mom is actually Kurdish. Later on Thursday, he visited the Shia holy sites in Najaf and Karbala. And then Friday, his final day, he went to Basra in the south. He gave a speech calling for Muslim unity. He referenced Israel and the conflict with Israel, according to state media. And the governor of Basra was also there, and Pezeshkian mentioned his desire to finish a planned railway project linking Iran and Iraq. So that's basically the rundown of the trip, 3-day trip.
Yeah. I'm also curious, Pezeshkian ran on a platform that was arguing that relations with the West need to be improved, or maybe improved is too strong a word, right? But there was sort of a reset need in that. There was a desire potentially to re-engage on talks on a nuclear deal, like had been that Trump had axed when he was president. Do you think that this first trip, why Iraq, and is it furthering some of the goals he set that he platformed on, do you think?
So With foreign policy issues in general, it is important to note that it's not solely up to the president in the Iranian system. There's also, of course, Ayatollah Khamenei and the IRGC and other actors involved in that. But with Iraq, it's definitely not necessarily extremely related to the West engagement, although he did talk about that. But it's very important to Iranian foreign policy. You have the Shiite armed groups, some of them backed by Iran. In Iraq, it's a Shia majority country. There's the holy sites that he visited. Religious tourism is very important. Trade, Iranian media today pointed out that Iraq is the second largest export destination for Iranian exports. And then there's the border issue. What Iran is concerned about is Iranian Kurdish opposition groups who have long based themselves in Iraq. They don't want them in the area. Iraq has recently said that it's made some efforts and with some success removing some of those groups. But in general, Iran and Iraq, they're friendly. They're not without their issues like the border. And Iran has had a lot of influence in Baghdad since the 2003 U.S. invasion. But recently, we've also seen improvement in ties between Iran and the Kurdistan regional government up north. And it shows that there's not just one government in Iraq. There's many different players, the central government, the Kurdistan regional government. And as we talked about in the article, it's also notable he didn't go to, Pezeshkian did not go to any Sunni majority areas in Iraq.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned the most critical point right at the top of your answer that, it's not that all power lays with Pezeshkian. I guess to kind of wrap this, is it safe to say that this was nothing unexpected came out of the trip, or was there anything that, as you were reporting and looking into this, that stuck out to you as sort of a main takeaway?
What this shows is regardless of, the administration in Iran and who is in charge, Iraq is always going to be very important to Iran. I think that's definitely one takeaway. And it just shows a desire from Iran to engage with Iraq on a lot of different levels, not just politically, but economically as well, and also the religious dimension.
Yeah. Okay, Adam, thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's it for today, Friday, September 13th. You can read all these stories and more impacting the region at allmonitor.com.